Hey everyone, Sinix here, and I'm doing a little bonus adventure on my Let's Explore DeviantArt. So on this episode, we're gonna explore someone's DeviantArt profile. I asked in the last video for people to post their DA names so that I could look at their profile if they were so interested, and it looks like some people have. So I was trying to figure out how to decide who to pick. But I think I'll just stick with doing the first person that responded with a DA name. So, let's see. Dear Sinix, thanks again for the weekly video. Would be awesome if you take a look at my page. My name on DA is ProSoul. Alright, ProSoul, we're gonna take a look. So let me just copy and paste. Copy. Okay. And yep, let's open this in a new window. Alright, so here we go. We got ProSoul here. Call me Nova Nim. Whatever that means. Looks like it's someone from Chile. So that's nice. I'm glad we got an international crowd going on. I'll just stalk your profile real fast. See what we can learn. Looks like you're doing commissions. Looks like you like anime. Here's some Gurren Lagann or something. Got some... Oh, you play WoW. That's terrible. Don't waste your time with WoW. No, it's fine. MMOs are too fun for their own good. Oh, okay, here we go. Check this out here. Favorite artists. Got some interesting ones. Nice mix. Mike Mignola. I could kind of see that already just from looking at your Deviant ID. It looks very much like a kind of that Mike Mignola style where you get those hard shadows that are all about it. And this is actually a nice piece actually. With the just because of the you use the hard shadows with the like kind of a subdued palette, which actually works really well. And if and it looks like it's extra meta because you seem to be drawing the picture in the picture. Amazing. Alright, so I think we'll just hop right into your favorite piece and then probably take a look at the gallery. So, here we go. Did I click it? Click. Go faster. Load. No downtime. Yeah, so I think this is World of Warcraft. Oh, here's my first clue. Art of Warcraft. Okay, so this looks like something based on World of Warcraft or something. Right away, like, this figure looks really great. You have this nice menacing walk where the cape's blowing, and the folds on the cape actually look well done too. I like the fabric seems decent here. Yeah, so the character's good. This dragon thing is also pretty interesting. So, but the first crit that's jumping right out at me is just there's kind of a lack of depth between the background and foreground. I think it might be because there's so much contrast and saturation going on in some of this background stuff, like up here with these bright blue against this dark black, and just some stuff like that. And it actually seems like the contrast is greater here than at the bottom, where it's supposed to be closer to us. And there's some kind of disconnect between this really like it looks like there's that slight Magnolia again, where he's got the really dark shadows like pure black, but it doesn't really flow into the environment that well. There's an interesting problem that this kind of presents. As you can see, the character's got a lot of skulls and like metal and very like gray and white stuff and some black. And usually you want your foreground stuff to be more saturated so it's kind of popping to the eye. But when it's all gray, that's kind of difficult to do. You got to use some other tricks. But I feel like this isn't separating itself enough from the background. If you look at it just like kind of don't really, if you blur your eyes a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about, where it just kind of, you don't really get that nice separation between foreground and background. But, like, the figure is really great, and there's some good stuff going on. It's just, I think it's a color thing, too. Like, the colors are kind of strong in some of these other areas. They don't have that really realistic color feel. Kind of has a comic-y feel, which is okay, but Anyway, all right, let's find your gallery. I think I gotta click up here. Yep. All right, so let's look at the most recent thing. Looks like a sketch. Yep. Character design, something created by someone else. But let's take a look at how he did it. It looks like this guy. I like how the face is rendered. I like your sketching. It's pretty good. You got that kind of comic-y thing where you got pretty much just the heaviest line around the outside, and that's okay. That's a decent look. This guy's like some kind of neo redneck because he's got his little rat tail, and it's kind of like a neo mullet. Um, I think the main thing that's jumping out at me is the clothing folds. You kind of go a bit overboard here, as you can see from just looking at the silhouette. I always like to look at the silhouettes of figures and things. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like a bit extreme here, especially on the pants and stuff. You got these folds around the knees, which your pants don't normally fold around the knees like that unless you're really bending your legs or something. Stuff like that. It kind of creates this like weird look that I've seen a lot, but that doesn't mean it's right. Yeah, a bit chaotic with the folds. You kind of want to keep things going like in one cohesive like movement, like really feeling that pull of gravity and motion, just like one direction. Like this guy looks kind of like a slacker or something, so maybe you want that. His pose is kind of droopy, so you want that like kind of that kind of effect going on, which you almost got. It looks like there's some stuff in the shirt that seems like could have been alright, but you just kind of went overboard on the folds. So anyway, let's move right along. There's some sequential stuff. There's actually looks like there's a nice mix of work, so that's always good. It's good to keep trying different things, different styles, different types of art. What's this? Bread dog. um, apparently there's a link here, so this is an original. Ah, that is. I don't know if it's delicious or adorable, but that is something. That is an interesting thing. All right, so let's go back. I can tell right away, like when you're doing an illustration of something like that, you really want to kind of accentuate the features. Do a nice caricature of everything. I think you should have brought the face down. It's like really smushed up. Like the back doesn't need to be this smushed, but it kind of creates a loaf of bread feeling. So I understand. This back foot could have been smaller. Like that's what I remember about the picture from just seeing it like 10 seconds ago. It was like one big lump, and all the features were pretty small. The legs were kind of like tiny, and it had this face was really scrunched up and wide along the bottom. Stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of what you did with the shading here, just because I feel like this kind of cell shaded style works alright, but you really have to be aggressive with it. You have to like maybe block out a whole section of shadow and do stuff like that when you're kind of just using it to like highlight and shadow edges of things. It usually doesn't look as good. You want to really bring big old shadows, like if this whole like front or something. I don't know how that would look, but if like the whole front was in shadow, or something like that. All right, what else we got? We got a transformer. What's this? TFP Bumblebee, Transformers Prime Bumblebee. All right, so we got a decent looking piece here. I always gotta give props to people that do Transformers and robots. Like robots that look like people are kind of difficult because you gotta get both that vibe of like human anatomy and also, but with that crazy mechanical stuff. So that's always challenging. But it looks like you've done a decent job. The pose is a bit kind of, well, it's a bit conflicting because you have this very actiony top thing. It looks like he wants to be jumping at us, and it kind of looks like there's some motion blur stuff going on. But on the other hand, these legs feel really kind of just kind of like downer, kind of boring and droopy, and they don't really have any action in them. You just want action nonstop if you're going for action, just top to bottom. This goes crazy, like ah. But there's some. I see the foreground's more saturated than the background, and there's some good stuff going on like that. There's some separation, but There's also some texture stuff in the background, which you don't. I don't know. It's okay, but you don't want to like do too much like textury stuff just like in one section or something, because it kind of creates. There's kind of a feeling that there's a separation of artistic styles here, and you always want to watch out for that because it always looks a bit off-putting if you have different artistic styles going from like the background to the foreground or stuff like that. You always want to try to keep the style as uniform as can be. Um, yeah. So, but this is a decent piece. There's some good stuff going on. It's a bit monochromatic with the background and foreground, but it's okay. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, you look at the legs and stuff. Like maybe it's the positioning too. Like it's right in the center. That's not very dynamic. I mean, the background's kind of got some dynamics with the, it's tilted and stuff. But this character is very just like even and yeah, not that dynamic. So let's click on this one because it looks awesome. I'm just attracted to the bioluminescence of it all. You got this dark piece with this white figure, and the figure is nicely done. It's kind of skinny and whatnot, and it's got these whites. And see, the cell shading is like very flat, like covers like large chunks, and it's a lot better when you use it like that. It's got this white jellyfish everywhere. You know what's really nice? This kind of the hair here kind of mimics the tentacles of a jellyfish, which makes it very cohesive and kind of draws it all together. And I just like the glow effect you managed to achieve with the white and stuff. It has a really nice glow. As for the jellyfish, like I like the jellyfish. I feel like there's not enough diversity in the depth. Like they all kind of feel flat. They kind of feel like they're on the same level a bit. Like even though some of them are obviously smaller and meant to be in the back. And this one's kind of less rendered, but they're all very similar in color. So I think there's three things you want to look for when you're showing like depth, and that's like saturation, um, bright. No, wait, hold on, I can figure this out. Saturation, contrast, and focus, or I guess like focus kind of plays into both of them, but and you also want to look for atmospheric differences. But anyway, so yeah, I think you can see what I'm talking about. It comes across a bit flat, but I like this. I like the idea that you're going for with this piece, and like I said, there's some good things going on. What's this? This one looks good, just from the thumbnail. Yeah, this seems like a good piece, which is funny because you actually say rushed color, not quite satisfied, but this is actually one of the better colored things I've seen. Like it feels very cohesive, and I like these wings, and these little veins and everything. Like it says rush job, but this actually looks like a good piece. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. It looks like a dragon. I think this is like a closed beak. I hope it's not an open mouth, because if it's supposed to be an open mouth, it doesn't quite look good. But if it's some kind of weird like maybe this is the eye and like this is some kind of weird like bird-like beak with horns, like I don't know. But it's an interesting piece to look at. There's yeah, like I said, the wings are great. The background it works well with the character. There's nothing that's too black. This is slightly white, but that's okay because it's fiery. Like there's nothing that's pure black, so that kind of works for this piece. Some of the stuff in the background down here, like I like these little flicks by the way, little flecks of burning debris. And you did a good job with the fiery effects, the lava and stuff. It's always important to figure out how to do those effects properly. These towers and stuff, I don't know if they should be that visible. I feel like there should be more like maybe darker smoke coming around the bottom, stuff like that. Yeah, these towers don't feel. I mean, they're all right, but I feel like you could have done something differently, like maybe dark smoke, some like really fiery. Fire gives off that pure, like just really evil looking smoke. But yeah, this is actually a really good piece. All right, what else we got? Ooh, a Pokemon. Gotta click that. Alright, so what do we got? Looks like some kind of Pokemon Master Red. Okay. So this is like a nice little composition with the Pokeball, and you got the figure in the center with the Pokemon around it. Um, some of the characters are kind of like not as, I don't know, not as interesting as they could be. This Pikachu feels a bit like, you know, creatures can be tough, but some of these are alright. You went with the whole Mignola like style of shading where it's like pure black. But I feel like the gradients, like this really like always going white from like a color to white on every piece. It feels like the shading's kind of like, I don't know, random. Like there's just this light that's like really bright and comes in. I feel like this would look a lot better if it was just these pure black shadows and like a flat color. Maybe like even not that light of a color, like a dark, like kind of not that saturated blue or not that saturated yellow, kind of that look that you'd see like on a screen print or something, like a t-shirt screen print. But yeah, so I feel like I keep saying I feel like Mignola does a good job of that where he does the pure black, but he also seems to bring in like flat colors and not that saturated. But anyway, let me just move along. Looked at that one. What's this one? Another transformer flying through the sky. Uh, some of the same issues here with the background foreground stuff. Like stylistically, it looks a bit different, and also like colors. It doesn't really mesh well with these patriotic. No, I'm not gonna say patriotic. It's actually very primary yellow, red, and blue. It doesn't quite flow with the background that well. Also, this gun's a little bit out of perspective. Just you can see, like especially in the the nozzle, the nozzle at the front. It's a bit out. You probably want to follow maybe a slightly more tilted ellipse, ellipse, ellipse. Okay, but yeah, I mean, there's some good stuff, but yeah, once again, I feel like, all right, what I've learned so far about your profile is mainly you need to work on separating your backgrounds and foregrounds. Also, a couple times you get or you get too into the whole Mignola style, and it kind of messes you up a bit when you try to mix it in with other things. But yeah, backgrounds, foregrounds, colors, stuff like that. I mean, I could just scroll down and like looking at these. This one's good. This one is once again a little flatter on the edge, you can tell. Um, yeah, like things like this, the background, foreground, they just like don't mesh that well. And this one, once again, looks a bit flatter than it should. Um, yeah, I guess I'll try to wrap this up. Let's see what we got. I'll just like browse through a couple of them fast. This is an interesting Mega Man thing, Hunter. You got uh, X and Zero, and they've actually been given a real sinister, evil look with that, once again, very Mignola style here in the background. And this, see, they actually match the background style, so that's a good thing. They are very dark though, but that's okay. I like the little white eyes. It looks very evil and kind of interesting, and some good effects. Uh, I seem to have a thing for pointing out when people forget to render something. For some reason, people always forget to render things when they're like under the lake like this, but it looks like you're missing some of the orange stuff that should have been in. I don't know. Kind of seems like it's too pale right in here. Alright. Oh, here's the little Naruto. This is a fun little pose with the. I mean, it's kind of a weird pose, but it's fun. Got that crazy ninja pose. Some interesting stuff going on with the. I like the rendering actually, and the color. Like it's just putting it on this yellow instead of white makes it a lot easier on the eye to look at and kind of looks more interesting. I think I mentioned that before. Some of the folds are a bit crazy. They don't always make complete sense. Like this one, like I get you're trying to pull it like a show, like the bandage is pulling stuff, but just some of the ways it curves around and some of the folds and these lines. A bit overboard with the folds. You can see like here too. Kind of looks like he has boobs. It's just because of the way this fold works. Could be like a really butchy girl with short hair, but no. It's, yeah, but it's still a good piece. And I think that's about it. I'll close it out on one more just because this one looks funny. You got Kirby here. It's Garen Logan. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, it's a cute idea, and it's the characters and stuff's well done. Once again, the background, foreground stuff doesn't quite mesh that well. Like it's really saturated around the back, around the edges and everything. But you're close. I feel like you're close to like making it a solid style. You just need to work on the whole way it melds together. So with that, I think I'll end it here, and I appreciate you letting us look at your profile. And I'll probably take another one some other time, maybe next week. Who knows? But anyway, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.